All right, today take a look at the KOOTION USB 3.0 thumb drive. This one is 64 gigabytes. Ooh. So these do have a guard, so you don't have to worry about snapping that thing off, which is always nice. They do have a tether spot, and it does say that it is a KOOTION 64 gigabyte drive, and this is the standard blue USB 3.0. And I always like these little packs because you can just take this little box and it's flat enough. You can throw that right in a pouch of a backpack. So we want to make sure we're plugging this into a USB 3.0 port. So it did show up right away. I didn't have to do anything, so that's nice. And let's do a speed test. Now you don't have to plug this into a USB 3.0 port. The only reason I do that is just to get the maximum speed that I can. If you want to, you can still use these in a USB 2.0 port if you're still using that. Okay, so we are definitely getting some respectable numbers here. Now this is actually a little bit surprising because most thumb drives that I've been using, they top out at about 90 megabytes per second read. This one actually gets 130. So this is a very fast thumb drive. For the write, we're getting about 39 megabytes per second. So that's for sequential 1 megabyte at 8 process 1 thread. And then for the write, we're getting about 39 megabytes per second write. So what that's going to make this ideal for is going to be doing most of the stuff that I do, which is going to be like loading operating systems or anything like that. Because it can read at 130 megabytes per second, it's going to be able to load that thing in real fast. Then for sequential 1 megabyte at 1 process 1 thread, it's actually very close. It's almost exactly the same. So these are usually at least 2 megabytes per second slower, but here it's basically keeping up. So it doesn't matter if it's 1 process or 8 process, we're getting 130 read and about 39 write. So for the worst case scenarios at random 4K at 32 process 1 thread, we're getting about a 5.7 read and about 1.29 write. And at the random 4K at 1 process 1 thread, we got 5 megabytes per second read and 1.14 write. So what that means is if you're going to be writing a lot of very tiny files, then you're going to be looking at a kind of a slow speed, but that is normal. It's important to remember that this is for very tiny files that are also random, so this is a worst case scenario. So you're not going to be getting a very fast speed here. If you're going to be doing a lot of things like video and photos, then you're going to expect to see something closer to this. As far as the read goes, these are about right where I expect them to be. I usually see something around 3 to 5 and very occasionally something closer to 7. So a 5 and a 5.7 is a very respectable number here. So yeah, overall, these are some very nice drives and I'm definitely going to be using these.